Okay, let's just jump right into this. We've all been there, right? That creepy feeling that sticks with you after a scary movie. But what if I told you that the absolute worst thing you can do in that moment is go straight to bed?
You know exactly what I'm talking about. You turn everything off, the house is dark, and bam, that one terrifying scene is just stuck on a loop in your head. It feels like you're just spooked, but what's really happening is a powerful, very specific process inside your brain. That's the key right there. This isn't just you being emotional, it's practically a mechanical process. Your brain is actively deciding whether to file that scary image into long-term storage, and those few moments right before you fall asleep, they're absolutely crucial. So let's break this down. It happens in 3 steps. First, you have what's called a high arousal experience. Your heart's pounding, you're on edge. Second, in the 30 to 90 minutes before you sleep, your brain becomes incredibly plastic. Think of it, look, its prime save window is open. And then third, while you sleep, your brain gets to work consolidating those memories, basically locking them in place. And this is exactly why those scary images get top priority. When your brain is sorting through all the stuff from your day, that intense feeling of fear is like a giant, flashing, bright red tag screaming, "Important!" Your hippocampus, the part of your brain in charge of memories, sees that tag and immediately shoves that file to the front of the line for long-term storage. What we're actually describing here is the blueprint for creating a traumatic memory. It's defined by that high arousal, that feeling of threat, and how vivid it is, making it super easy to replay. So when you go right to sleep after a horror movie, you're essentially giving your brain the command, yup, save this awful thing, forever. Okay, so that's the problem, right? We're accidentally programming our own nightmares. But what's the fix? How do we actually interrupt this process and tell our brain to hit delete instead of save? And this is where things get really interesting. The solution to this complex, high-tech brain problem isn't an app or some fancy meditation. Nope, it's something incredibly basic and physical.
See, the trick isn't to think your way out of the fear. It's to use a sense that completely bypasses your overactive imagination. Ready for this? It's a weird one.
I know, it sounds completely insane and maybe a little bit gross, but this strange bit of folk wisdom is actually rooted in some very solid neuroscience. Just stay with me here for a second. The logic here is actually perfect once you get it. The goal isn't the smell itself, it's about what a strong, shocking scent does to your brain. It acts as a powerful pattern interrupt. It literally breaks that mental loop of replaying the scary image over and over. And here's why it works so well. Look at how our senses are wired. What you see takes a long route through the analytical parts of your brain, the parts that love to build stories and create more images. But smell? Smell is a direct superhighway to the most primitive, survival-oriented parts of your brain. It completely sidesteps all that mental picture making. And that's the magic trick. A smell, especially a strong one, has no story attached. It's not a symbol for anything. It's just a raw, physical sensation. It forcefully yanks your attention out of the imaginary threat you saw on screen and slams it back into the physical reality of where you are, right now. This isn't just some weird hack, by the way. It has a real name in psychology. It's called sensory grounding. It's a legit technique used in therapy to help people break free from things like flashbacks and anxiety by using intense, real-world sensations. So here's the good news. You can get the exact same result without, doing that. It's the principle that matters, not the specific method. So let's look at some much better ways you can put this into practice. Here we go. These are fantastic, much more pleasant alternatives. The physical shock of holding an ice cube, that jolt of splashing cold water on your face, a powerful, story-free scent like coffee beans or even vinegar. Even just methodically describing 5 things in your room forces your brain to focus on here and now reality instead of that scary fantasy. So let's wrap this all up into a simple, new routine. After the movie, just give yourself a 20 or 30-minute buffer. Don't just hop into bed. Do something physical and real, like watering the plants or doing the dishes. Then, and this is important, actually say it out loud. I am safe right now. That combination tells your brain, hey, discard that fear file. Then you can go to sleep. So really, it all boils down to one of these 2 formulas. The bad one, scary image plus immediate sleep, which equals fear saved. And the good one, scary image plus a sensory jolt
plus a little time, and that equals reality restored. You are actively choosing which instruction to give your brain.
So, the next time you decide to watch something terrifying, you're not just a victim of your own brain chemistry anymore. You have the user manual. You know how to hit the reset button. The only question left is, what are you going to do with that power?